Hi Atul, thank you so much for joining us on Blitz Business. It's a pleasure to have you.
Hi Ashish, pleasure is all mine, and thanks for having me.
Awesome, let's get started. So Atul, before we dive into business and everything, so tell us a little bit about yourself.
So my journey has been a kind of a roller coaster, different sectors. So I did my masters from Australia. Before that, I did my bachelor's from Delhi University. I did my BCom honors. Then I flew to Australia for doing my dual masters in finance. I did my CFA over there, and I started working as an investment banker in one of the prominent banks in Australia. So after 4 5 years working over there, I realized let's go back to India, and I joined an energy company and I started their solar business. That was back in 2011. Then solar was very new that time, so we grew that business from zero to 10,000 odd crores, and then the company decided to exit that business. That was a time I realized now I want to do my passion project or my passion work. So I moved to food business and I started my own company in 2022. So, I mean, my journey has been roller coaster from bank to energy, from now finally to the food sector, which I like. So, in food, we are one of the leaders when it comes to food processing. So, we process every kind of vegetables, fruits, herbs. Then we also have a healthy snacking brand, which we started just 18 months back. So, yeah, that is in short about the journey so far.
Wow, I mean, so much to cover from bank, energy to food. So what made you pick up food business like?
So I still remember. I mean, 8 9 years back, when I used to go to gym, and my personal trainer used to ask me, "Yeah, what's your motive?" So
Yeah.
I always used to tell him, "I want to eat. That's why I'm coming to gym." So yeah, food has been almost a passion project. As I said, and I was at the age where I want to now pursue my passion. So yeah, that's why I moved to food sector. And I think India or maybe globally also food is something which has a big market. A lot of innovations is happening around the food, and especially after COVID when people have started eating mindful. So I thought it's the right time to enter this sector.
So when you say food, Atul, so what part of food you guys are
So
catering?
we are very clear. We don't want to get into growing of the vegetables. We don't want to get into that cultivation side. So almost you will be surprised. 45% of Indian produce gets wasted because all the fruits vegetable have a shelf life, a fresh fruit. So almost 45% gets wasted. Globally, this number is around about 25%. So I thought there's a huge opportunity over there when we have to reduce that wastage. So I got into the food processing. So we are using a use of technology and trying to take out the moisture level from the fruit and vegetables without impacting the nutrition value much, and we are increasing the shelf life up to 2 years.
Wow, 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 wow. That's interesting. That's interesting. So what all sort of fruits, vegetables you have targeted?
So every fruit, every vegetable, what is available to mankind can be processed. So as I said, we are not any particular fruit or vegetable agnostic. We are a technology company. When we say technology, we are into food processing. So we use technology to process fruit. So no matter whatever fruits is there or whatever vegetable is there, we can process the same through our technology. In fact, we are trying a lot of new products, like we are trying to process curds, we are trying to process cheese. All these things can be done to this technology. And in fact, see, I mean, I don't own the patent of this technology. This technology has been in existence for last, I would say, what, 70 75 years. But now people have started using it more commercially.
Understood. So how does it work? So for example, you suck out all the water component from that vegetable or fruit, and that is the crux of it, and that expands the life, or there is something else also needs to be done.
So it's a very layman term. So what we are doing, we are taking a fresh fruit or vegetable, and we are through high vacuum. We are just taking out all the moisture. The way it is done, first all these fruits and vegetables are frozen to minus 50 degrees. So all the moisture inside that gets frozen, and after that, we through high vacuum we are just taking it out. So in layman terms, that's the process, but it's a kind of a complicated process when it comes to the line. But yeah, in layman, it's just to give you a perspective, 80% of the instant coffee in the world is done to this technology. And this is called freeze drying technology or sublimation.
So this is how it's getting done in terms of even in coffee.
All the instant coffee are done through this process.
Wow. So, and is there any study in terms of the impact it has on the food or the product?
There are enough studies. As I said, I mean, it's a 60, 70 years old technology, and there are enough studies which are available which shows how much nutrition values is intact, how much, what is the actually the shelf life of these products goes up to 20 years, because there is no moisture inside it. But yeah, commercially we say it's 2 years, but technically if I say it's about 20 years, because anything which has a moisture gets spoiled. Once there is no moisture, it will not get spoiled. So there are enough studies available on the Google, which shows that what is the nutrition value which remains in this, how much is the shelf life, everything is there. Yeah.
So then after freezing them and everything, it goes as raw material to, so whom do you supply to such product?
So it's a big, big market. In fact, all your instant noodles, instant soups, ready to eat category, all the people who are using vegetables. So they have either two options, either use frozen or use, I would say, freeze dry. So frozen, gradually people have started using less because of a lot of issues, like transportation issue, storage issue. Then frozen doesn't taste same like after a few months, so people are now resorting towards freeze dry, because which has a better shelf life, no problem of storing, because these get stored at the room temperature. Then the taste is far far better as compared to frozen.
That's the reason.
Yeah.
Understood. So it
Globally,
is
it's a big, big market. In fact, China used to be the leaders for this particular production of food processing before COVID. But yeah, after COVID, because of the obvious reason, globally people are not relying on China because of the food item. So a lot of businesses come to India, a lot of businesses come to Turkey, Egypt. So many businesses going in these countries now. That's only from Indians' perspective. But yeah, US, European, who are the major buyers still now for these products, उनको कोई
so in this, then that's very fascinating, Atul. So you have any plan to then create your own white label since you are already freeze drying it? I mean, natural progression for you is
so that's the second part of our business. So we started doing all these freeze drying, and then 2 years back I realized why not have a healthy snacking, because see, people love eating, people love munching, and most of them just resort to all those unhealthy snacks. I don't want to name them, but
you
yeah,
can
people.
name it. I think I'm also eating a lot.
Yeah, so I thought why not have a niche where people can go to a healthy eating. And honestly, people in after COVID have become very, very particular. They check the calories, they check the ingredients before consuming. Before COVID, only the thing they used to check is the manufacturing date and best before date, nothing else. But now people are checking each and everything, and this is good. So we thought let's have a healthy snacking brand. So all these fruits or vegetable, when we freeze dry, it becomes very crunchy, because there is no moisture, so it becomes very crunchy and it can be eaten as a snacks. So we started a healthy snacking brand by the name Bonvie. And why we chose word Bonvie? Bonvie is a combination of two French words, bon and vie, which means good life. So we wanted to have this good life or healthy lifestyle inculcated amongst everyone. So that's why we chose Bonvie. We started with only the fruits, like we had almost 12 fruits in our bouquet when it comes to healthy snacking. But fruits are normally sweet, and Indians, they like sweet and savory. After a few time, we realized, yeah, I mean, it's not, fruit cannot make us a big healthy snacking brand. We need to have more SKUs. Then we came up with vegetable chips. So vegetable chips are all done through air fried technology. Again, we want to use technology over here. So all the chips we are doing through air fried technology. Then we got into freeze dried corns as in snacks. So in the corns, we have put the savory kind of a seasoning, like your masala seasoning, mint, and all those things. So again, it becomes a very good chutney for Indians.
Hmm.
And the final product what we launched was an ice cream snacks, which is very unique from Indian perspective, or even we are the, I would say, market leaders when it comes to this ice
Hmm.
cream snacks, because we are exporting a lot also in bulk. So in this, what we are doing, we are taking an ice cream and we are converting into a snack form. And the tagline of this ice cream is that the ice cream that doesn't melt. So keep it in the room temperature, it will not melt. Only the time it will melt when you keep it in your mouth.
So how does that work? You take what's
So the again in layman terms, we take an ice cream.
yeah.
It's one of the best ice creams available in India right now. I can't share the name of the manufacturer, because of the NDA clauses. But yeah, it's one of the best ice creams. We then again freeze it to a level where we can easily cut them. So we cut those ice creams into cubes and then we dry them. So the end product comes as a cube, which will be and which will not melt at the room temperature. But as soon as you keep that in your mouth, it will burst into the flavors. Yeah. So I see this is a product which you can take anywhere. You don't need to worry about like freezing it. You don't need to worry about like getting it melt, and you can enjoy the flavors of ice cream. That's why we call it ice cream snacks.
आई थिंक इस टेक्नोलॉजी से कैपेबिलिटी आप तो कुछ भी फ्रीज करके उसको ड्राई कर
In fact, you will be surprised. I love to do a R&D, and I have tried doing R&D on a lot of liquors. Like I've tried freeze drying wine, I've tried freeze drying vodka. So I mean, see, with the technology, the possibilities are infinite.
तो लिकर का क्या हुआ उसमें थोड़ा इंटरेस्ट और है तो क्या
So
हुआ फिर
wine, I'm a wine person, so
या
I tried doing the wine. Not the best product so far, but yeah, it converted into powders, and you can't hydrate it. Yeah. So जैसे कॉफी का फ्लेक्स नहीं आता इंस्टेंट कॉफी में,
हाँ हाँ हाँ
सेम वाइन के वो बन गए. But instant coffee you can put in the milk, you can put in the water and have it.
इस
Wine you cannot. Wine has a lot of other things inside it, so you can't just put in the water and mix it.
and ये भी है ना कि वाइन और अल्कोहल इज ऑफ
See, idea was to just maybe create some like kind of candies of
आई नो
these liquor.
और
But yeah,
फ्लेक्स को भी यूज कर सकते हो फूड में वाइन फ्लेक्स
हाँ, you can do that. अगर किसी को wine flakes डालना है, that can be used.
नहीं या इट्स लाइक
But we do a lot of ready to eat items also with this technology.
फॉर
So we
एग्जांपल
do a lot of all these Indian foods like paneer, butter masala, dal makhni, poha, upma, all these through this technology. The only thing you have to do, add water, just cover the lid for a couple of minutes and it's good to go.
बट अतुल उसमें मेरा एक कमेंट है मतलब मैंने आपके ब्रांड का तो नहीं खाया बट जिस ब्रांड का भी मैंने ट्राई किया व्हेनेवर आई हैव ट्रैवल्ड और बहुत ही
There's a catch. So अभी तक इंडिया में जो भी मिलता था, that was done through a technology called dehydration. उसमें क्या होता है, यू टेक एनी से फॉर एग्जांपल वी टॉक अबाउट पोहा. आपने पोहा लिया, कुक पोहा लिया, एंड आप उसको हीट करके उसके अंदर का मॉइस्चर निकालते हो. ठीक है. व्हाट एग्जैक्टली पीपल लाइक हल्दीराम एंड एमटीआर आर डूइंग.
ओके
अब उसमें क्या है कि व्हेन यू आर हीटिंग द प्रोसेस, हीटिंग दैट पर्टिकुलर आइटम, मॉइस्चर निकल जाता है, बट अपार्ट फ्रॉम मॉइस्चर इवन अ लॉट ऑफ न्यूट्रिशन गोज अवे. सो आपको कभी वो सेम टेस्ट नहीं करेगा.
एग्जैक्टली
But what, so okay, so all the other dehydration technologies which are available, like आप उसको solar heating करो, चाहे आप इसको oil heating से करो, they're all hot based technologies. Freeze dried is the only technology which is cold based technology. We are not using any kind of heat, we are only using vacuum and we are like freezing. So whenever you are using a cold press technology, the nutrition value and the taste will be much better as compared to a hot based technology. Just to give you an example, take cold pressed juices.
यस
They always taste good as
या
compared to the other juice.
या
So what you have tried, and in fact, I have been overseas for almost 5 6 years. A person who doesn't know how to cook, so I was only relying on those kind of a food. It doesn't taste. मतलब आपको लगता है जबरदस्ती खाना पड़ रहा है, but this is something what people have started using now. So चीज अगर आप जाओगे, so technologies, all the ready to eat food is done through this technology.
Yeah, and one thing I've noticed is इन पे जो label होता था, they were very high in sodium if I can recall.
So we don't, because again sodium is used for preserving all these products.
Yes, yes.
Whereas in our technology we are not adding anything. What we are just doing, freezing and then drying. That's it.
So no additive or nothing, no
Nothing,
preservative, nothing.
nothing. Only our
Interesting.
aim is to take out the moisture.
Wow, wow, wow.
In fact, for few of our products, people have compared to best of the restaurants in India that the taste is same like that.
ऐसा क्या product आप बताएं? क्या
Dal
कैसे
makhni
पता?
been dal makhni of ours is been almost compared to dal bukhara of ITC, and
Really?
people
I'll
love
try
it.
your dal makhni. How?
I
What
will
under what
definitely.
brand name it's called?
So this is something. See, as you said, in India, ready to eat is a very clutter market. There are
Yeah,
big players who have invested a lot in advertisements, and it is very difficult to compete with them. So what we are doing right now, we are just doing in bulk, or we are doing private labeling. We are not selling under our own brand. So I'll tell you a bit about business model. So we have two business
Sure.
model. One is our bulk business, and I would say private labeling. So we call this a B2B business, and the other is a retail business. In retail business, we do online and offline, and now we are starting export as well. So that's the business model. So ready to eat is almost done either in private label or in bulk, but I can definitely send you the samples.
नाइस दाल मखनी आई लव आई विल ट्राई अगर आप कह रहे हो दाल बुखारा जैसी हो
Give me
फिर
your
तो
feedback after trying it.
that's nice wonderful so now tell me one thing compared to इंटरनेशनल मार्केट इन इंडिया एंड इंडियंस तो अब हर जगह ही हैं ऑलमोस्ट मतलब आपका प्रोडक्ट तो आप लगा लो ग्लोबली हो गया बिकॉज हर जगह इंडियंस हैं कहाँ नहीं है मतलब सो इज देयर एनीथिंग हैपनिंग इंटरनेशनली इन फूड टेक्नोलॉजी स्पेस which India still lacks?
See, okay, since I have been overseas, I lived over there, so I knew a bit of mindset about the people over there. So when it comes to food, no one want to compromise on terms of the quality, and especially after COVID, whatever happened, people are very very particular that what they are eating, where it is getting manufactured from. So one thing we were very clear that our facility should be world class facility. If I can give it to my family, then only I should make it. Otherwise, I should not. So we were very very particular about the quality. So we are very particular about where we are buying the raw material, which kind of people we are buying from raw material. Are they using any kind of pesticides or any kind of other things while producing those I would say fruits and vegetables. So this is very clear. Second, the plant what we have created is at the ISO level. I mean, it has all the global standard. We didn't want to compromise on the quality of a plant at all. Yes, I mean, see, if these things are your sorted out, then people overseas they are comfortable like consuming those products. But as I said, I mean, one thing I always tell my team who is on the production line: if you can give this product to your family, then only produce it. Otherwise, not. Don't produce it.
बट ऐसा कोई टेक्नोलॉजी है अतुल जो अभी इंडिया आया ही नहीं और पीपल आर नॉट अवेयर ऑफ लाइक फॉर एग्जांपल वेट लॉस ड्रग का ही चल रहा है
सी कमर्शियली अवेलेबल नहीं है ऐसी कोई टेक्नोलॉजी जो अभी इंडिया नहीं आया. बट R&D देखो वेस्ट में द काइंड ऑफ R&D हैपन इन वेस्ट दैट इज मच बेटर एज कंपेयर टू आई वुड से एशिया. सो बहुत सारी टेक्नोलॉजीज पे वर्क हो रहा है. बट फूड प्रिजर्विंग या फूड प्रोसेसिंग की दिस टेक्नोलॉजी विच इज फ्रीज ड्राइंग और विच इज ऑल्सो कॉल्ड वैक्यूम ड्राइंग is the best technology so far. I'm talking about the commercial now. But there are a lot of other technologies which people are still working on. But commercials अभी किसी का start नहीं हुआ. It's all on the R&D stage.
तो आपके कंपेटिटर अतुल कौन होंगे इस
So
स्पेस में
we
फॉर
have,
एग्जांपल
so I mean, see, China is still a competitor. I mean, a lot of companies are still buying from China because the kind of plants is there in China. I mean, it's huge, huge. I mean, maybe we would be not even 10% of the overall capacity of China right now. So people are buying from there. Then Thailand, there are a lot of plants. Then I would say even Turkey, as I said, Egypt, a lot of plants are coming up. So yeah, I mean these all countries are our competition as of now.
एंड विद इन इंडिया
In India also there are a lot of players who are doing similar work, and in fact this is a category or this is an industry which is growing by maybe 200% CAGR. So
रियली
last year whatever the capacity was, today the capacity is almost 2.5 times. So
वाओ
every year new companies are coming or the existing companies are increasing their capacity. So it's a huge business. I would still say India has a still a huge advantage because see, we are an agriculture economy and a lot of vegetables and fruits which are available in India, they have a very good price competitiveness. So like India is good for tropical fruits, India is good for vegetables. So we have that kind of a price advantage in terms of raw material over there. But I think the challenge what we face is an awareness. People are still going towards those old kind of food processing technologies. So awareness is something which is a challenge, but I've seen things have changed over last 4 5 years. But yeah, yeah, big way to go.
एंड तो इंडिया में नंबर वन प्लेयर कौन है इस स्पेस में
See, in terms of freeze dry, I mean, there's a company called Flex Food. I think they have the largest capacity. Then there's another company called Roha Foods. They have a big technology. So there are big players over there. but they are not as big as compared. See, I'll tell you, this is a very capital intensive technology. So, I mean, the person who have deep pockets can only go and I would say put a plant. Like a typical, a small plant even costs like 10 to 15 odd CR. A big plant can be upwards of 100 crores.
So a small plant, let's say 15 crore, what it helps you achieve? Like कितना capacity रहेगा उसका मतलब उसका what is the output of that 15 crores? How much revenue can you do?
So the way this technology is measure input output. So if you put 1 kg and the output would be only 100 grams because 90% तो moisture होता है वो सारा निकल जाता है, but it will become volumetric. मतलब product कम नहीं होगा,
Yeah, yeah,
product उतना ही रहेगा but हल्का हो जाएगा.
right, right.
So it's so the in 15 crores you can maybe put a 4-ton plant. That's it. Whereas people like the flex food they have like 25 tons, 30 tons kind of capacities.
तो 4 टन आपका इनपुट आएगा और वो आप
Output
नब्बे
होगा
परसेंट
400 kg.
बस
400 to 500 kg depending
yeah
upon the moisture level in the fruit or
and
vegetable.
and running what 24/7 or 12 घंटा
Almost, I would say, running 20 hours in a day.
wow.
It has a potential of running 3 shifts. मतलब पूरा 24 hours run कर सकते हैं, but mostly plants are running 20.
So Atul, for you, how did you sort of so इसमें I see three critical components. So technology is available, then the key is the relationship in the market. For you be to able to अब किसी ने plant setup आपको buyer right. So how did you solve the distribution problem or you had connects before and you were aware कि अगर हम डालेंगे इतना पैसा तो इतना तो recover कर लेंगे.
सबसे बड़ा चैलेंज ही डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन है इसमें. बनाना आसान है. आई मीन माय मेंटर यूज्ड टू ऑलवेज से यार दुनिया में ना सबसे मुश्किल चीज है माल बेचना. बनाना तो आसान चीज है. So see the challenge what we have faced over here is like people were not aware. या जो aware they were using still the cheaper material because जो बाकी dehydration का output होता है that is much more cheaper because still it has a moisture level. The drying cycle is not more than 3-4 hours, so उनका end product is always cheaper. But see what is happening, people have, there are big companies like Nestle, Kellogg's, and I would say other names like Indonesian. These people are the one globally they want to now come to like using a better raw material. ठीक है, उनका उनको बताना पड़ा कि हाँ यार why this is better as compared to other. So there is a lot of awareness, lot of education which has gone in last I would say 3-4 years, and we have started seeing the results, but it's a, again as I said, it's a big journey to go. We have to still I mean a lot of companies in India are still using those old dehydrated materials which are not healthy to be very honest. But yeah, धीरे धीरे awareness आ रही है लोगों में. धीरे धीरे जो gap था between the prices वो कम होता जा रहा है because the new machines which are coming are much more efficient. So I think in next 3 to 4 years we will see a huge boom, and that's why we are seeing a lot of companies coming into this freeze dried category every year. हर साल नई कैपेसिटीज ऐड हो रही है, हर साल न्यू प्लेयर्स आ रहे हैं, सो मार्केट बन रही है.
And what's the price difference in hot and cold sort of
It used to be
drinks?
almost I would say 40-50% 4
Wow.
years back. Now it has come down to I would say 10.
So hot one is still cheaper, 15.
Yeah, that is still cheaper.
That is still cheaper. And then so someone wants to now someone is listening and they're like बहुत बढ़िया I want to someone किसी और का भी passion अभी ignite हो गया space में उनको भी करना है. How do you finance this thing?
Yeah, so there are a lot of the government always supports you. There are many schemes under the ministry which supports maybe 30-35% of your total capital cost. Then there are banks which are always there to support all these food processing companies. So there are ways. See, Ashish, again as I said, India में ना अभी पैसे की कमी नहीं है. If your project is good, if the project is viable, तो पैसा लगाने वाले बहुत लोग हैं. एंड यू सी ऑल दी स्टार्टअप्स फिनटेक एंड ऑल दीज योर एजुटेक्स वगैरह पैसा मिल जाता है. बट आई थिंक अगेन इंटेंशन शुड बी गुड एंड दैट इज व्हाट वी हैव केप्ट फ्रॉम डे वन. आई मीन हमें लगता है कि आप पैसा किसी का भी हो एट द एंड ऑफ द रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी आपकी है. सो आपको उसका पे बैक करना इंपॉर्टेंट है. So I think if you go with this intention, investors are there to bet on you.
So how much Atul capital you guys have raised so far?
So honestly अभी तक सारा bootstrap है. Last 10-12 साल की that is what we have been deployed. Again Ashish, I wanted to be very clear amongst ourselves कि हाँ this is the right thing to do before raising any money. So maybe now in the second line of expansion, whenever we go for, maybe we might raise some funds, but अभी तक तो सारा bootstrap है.
And is it a profitable business?
It's a profitable business. See, again, as a finance person, I always believe yeah, profit should be the key,
Yeah,
and the profit which comes in your bank should be the key. So
exactly.
वो financial discipline day one से रखा हुआ है. हाँ, पहले एक दो साल में थोड़ा सा हमें लगा था कि because it was a growing stage, the capital का infusion था बहुत था, but we are always a profitable business. At least EBITDA level पे तो हम लोग हमेशा से positive ही थे.
And I assume in your bulk B2B, there might be some cash flow challenges or no?
नहीं, वहां पे भी ना, सी अगेन एज I said, टिल नाउ वी वर वेरी डिसिप्लिन इन टर्म्स ऑफ आवर फाइनेंशियल डीलिंग. सो अगर एक महीने का क्रेडिट देना है तो एक महीने का ही देना है. अगर आपको एडवांस पेमेंट टर्म्स पे काम करना है, एडवांस. एंड द गुड पार्ट अबाउट दिस बिजनेस इज मोस्टली एक्सपोर्ट होता है, एंड दैट इज अगेंस्ट एन LC, रिवॉल्विंग लेटर ऑफ क्रेडिट. तो आप उसको डिस्काउंट करवा लो, तो कैश फ्लो इश्यूज इतना नहीं है. हाँ, रिटेल बिजनेस में दैट्स द डिफिकल्ट बिजनेस बिकॉज उसमें बड़े सारे चैलेंजेस है. So अभी तक हमारा 80% was our B2B business and 20% was retail business. But I want to grow retail business as well. I want that also because India में ना again snacking brand with an health का सारा, so I think it can be a big business. So we are now focusing a lot on retail as well. अभी तक तो हम लोग बस online offline थे. Now we want to get into quick commerce. We want to get into MT GT. कब आना.
So that means a lot of marketing capital is needed.
We are doing a lot of marketing right now. So जो profit बचता है B2B में सारा यहीं deploy हो रहा है.
तो अभी आप लोग Zepto और इन सब पे हो, Zepto, Swiggy?
Quick commerce में we have just now trying. I think if everything goes okay, June, otherwise latest by July, we should be on the quick commerce.
But that should be a wonderful channel for you guys and for
It
them
is.
also because आप storing की problem नहीं है and quickly you can move test pockets of India.
I just hope कि यार ये कोई बबल ना हो क्विक कॉमर्स, आजकल जितना भी न्यूज में आ रहा है. बट आई थिंक इट कैन लीड टू अ बिग बिजनेस फॉर अस बिकॉज आई हैव सीन ब्रांड्स हु हैव जस्ट गॉट बिल्ट ऑन क्विक कॉमर्स. सो मुझे लगता है कि हाँ, दिस कैन बी समथिंग व्हिच विल बी यूजफुल फॉर
Good,
अस.
good.
सो अभी हम लोग ट्राई तो पहले ब्लिंकिट से कर रहे हैं. अभी जेप्टो इज नॉट टेकिंग एनी न्यू ब्रांड्स, बट मैं कहा चलो एक से स्टार्ट करते हैं बिकॉज अगेन यू हैव टू इन्वेस्ट अ लॉट. यू हैव टू इन्वेस्ट ऑन मार्केटिंग, यू हैव टू इन्वेस्ट ऑन स्टॉक. तो मैं कहा एक एक करके स्टार्ट करते हैं. सो वी आर स्टार्टिंग विद ब्लिंकिट विद फ्यू ऑफ द सिटीज, मेट्रोपॉलिटन सिटीज एंड tier 2 cities. फिर धीरे धीरे करके विल गो टू मे बी स्विगी, जेप्टो एंड अदर प्लेसेस.
So how does that sort of engagement look like? आप लोग approach करते हो, for example, Swiggy को आपने किया and is it just simply like मतलब what is the process? आप simply कहते हो भाई ये product है, if they like it, then they will like अच्छा आप भेज दो और हम बेचो कमाएंगे.
नहीं नहीं नहीं, बहुत डिफिकल्ट है यार. हम लोग 4 महीने से ट्राई कर रहे हैं. सो मीन ऑनेस्टली वन थिंग आई ऑलवेज पोस्ट ऑन द लिंक्डइन दैट एटलीस्ट इंडिया में ना ये सारी डीलिंग्स ना थोड़ी स्मूथ हो जाए ना, so it will give a people like startup founders like us a lot of, I would say, motivation. But अभी तक वो नहीं हुआ. Things have improved a lot, but we have to reach to a right stage जहाँ पे चीजें ऑटोमेटिक. अभी भी lot of manual intervention, a lot of people you have to approach. एक लेवल खत्म होता है फिर दूसरे लेवल पे जाओ, बहुत चीज.
But I thought ये तो बड़ा seamless होना चाहिए because उनके लिए it's better if I am Swiggy or Zepto or whatever I am. It's easier अगर मैं vendor को लेके आ पा रहा हूँ उस पे onboard करके and get the product in. I will increase my average ticket
नहीं
size.
आशीष, देखो वो ऐसा नहीं चलता. मैं आपको रीजन बताता हूँ. सी दे हैव इन्वेस्टेड अ लॉट इन डार्क स्टोर्स. ठीक है, अब एक डार्क स्टोर में एक लिमिटेड कैपेसिटी है रखने की. सो दे वुड लाइक टू हैव दोज प्रोडक्ट्स ओनली जो लोगों की कंजम्पशन ज्यादा हो रही है. दे विल नॉट लाइक टू लाइक वेस्ट देयर स्पेस इनटू द प्रोडक्ट्स जहाँ पे उसकी प्रोडक्ट की मूवमेंट ही नहीं है. आप अज्यूम करो आपके पास घर में एक अलमीरा है, तो यू विल ओनली कीप दोस थिंग्स ना जो आप यूज करना चाहोगे. जो चीज आप नहीं करोगे, यू डोंट वांट टू कीप इट. सो दैट्स द प्रॉब्लम दीज पीपल आर फेसिंग. सो दे वांट टू कीप दोस प्रोडक्ट्स ओनली व्हिच आर मूविंग फास्ट, सो दैट उनका जो वो GMV या GOV जो उनका होता है वो बढ़ता रहे. एंड आई मीन दे आर नॉट रॉन्ग यार. अल्टीमेटली सी एवरीवन इज देयर टू मेक मनी. So they also have a lot of investors to be answered to. So they are not wrong. So they go for the products which are which has a good awareness. प्रोडक्ट अच्छा होना उससे फर्क नहीं पड़ता, अवेयरनेस अच्छी होनी चाहिए. हाउ मच दे आर मूविंग फ्रॉम द शेल्फ. सो अगर आज इंडिया में देखो पोटैटो चिप्स की रिक्वायरमेंट रहती है, सो चाहे वो अनहेल्दी रहेगा बट दे विल स्टिल गो विद दोस पोटैटो चिप्स क्योंकि वो उनके शेल्फ.
And इसमें how does the quick commerce company make money from? आप उनको
सो
प्रोडक्ट 100 रुपए का दोगे तो orders.
so it doesn't work on a discount, they work on a commission. So आपका, I mean, they decide depending upon brand to brand. So our commission is decided. So then for every rupee sale, they get that commission.
And typically range कितना रहता होगा?
So ranging from, I would say, 10% for a person like Cadbury, जिनका बहुत अच्छा movement है, it can go up to, I would say, even 40-45%.
45%. 45%. That's half the value.
So honestly, आशीष, मैं जब आया, मतलब for me retail was everything new. मुझे पता नहीं था भाई retail होता क्या है, because I have been working only on the institutional. So when someone told me, yeah, you need to have at least 70-75% gross margin in retail to be a profitable company, मैं कहा पागल है क्या, क्या फूक के आया यार, कोई 75%
सही
मार्जिन
बात है.
पे कौन खरीदेगा यार. But यार, retail is, it's bad, man. I mean, there's a lot of middleman cost, a lot of cost, companies like Amazon and all these things charge. So जब ये इन सबको आप ऐड करोगे ना, so अगर आपके प्रोडक्ट में 60-70% मार्जिन नहीं है, तो you cannot be a profitable company.
Oh,
इंडिया में तो लोग स्टिल वर्क एट, आई वुड से 60-65% ग्रॉस प्रॉफिट.
hmm.
यूएस में पीपल वर्क एट 90-95% ग्रॉस प्रॉफिट.
Wow, I think and अभी recently there was one D2C founder, बहुत सारे आए थे. One thing, I mean, whatever limited I could understand was कि इन लोगों की marketing cost has also increased exponentially. मतलब in heyday जितना इन लोगों ने D2C product बनाया, चाहे health skin care में हो या किसी में भी हो, I'm forgetting, but अब तो it has gone so much because everybody Instagram.
तो डी टू सी, हम लोग भी जैसे अमेजोन, वी आर ऑन वेबसाइट पे, तो सारा इंस्टाग्राम की, तो आप मान के चलो 30-35% तो बे मिनिमम आपकी मार्केटिंग कॉस्ट है इनिशियल ईयर्स में. या वंस द ब्रांड गेट्स बिल्ड, धीरे धीरे करके मार्केटिंग कॉस्ट कम होती जाती है, बट या इट टेक्स ऑलमोस्ट 4-5 years.
Yeah, और वो repeat भी होना. There are so
सी
many.
अल्टीमेटली मैं सबको एक ही चीज कहता हूँ यार, प्रोडक्ट शुड बी द की. मार्केटिंग वार्केटिंग करके एक बार तो ले आओगे कस्टमर को, उसके बाद रिपीट कस्टमर्स तो प्रोडक्ट ही लाएगा ना. सो
That is
या
true.
प्रोडक्ट शुड बी द की. ठीक है, आई थिंक सी इंडिया का डी टू सी स्पेस इज ग्रोइंग वेरी गुड. आई मीन देयर आर लॉट ऑफ ब्रांड्स. सी फॉर अ न्यू स्टार्टअप इट्स इजी टू गेट इनटू अ डी टू सी, क्योंकि इन्वेस्टमेंट कम लगता है. आपने प्रोडक्ट अमेजोन को आपने अपनी वेबसाइट पे बेच, सो एटलीस्ट आपको 3-4-5 महीने में पता चल जाता है कि वेयर यू आर स्टैंडिंग.
Correct. You
तो
can test out.
आई ऑलवेज से इट्स अ इजियर वे टू लर्न, रादर
Yes,
देन आप ऑफलाइन में लिस्टिंग फीस पे करो, सब कुछ करो, और फिर आपको 6 महीने बाद रियलाइज हो कि योर प्रोडक्ट इज नॉट गेटिंग सोल्ड.
that is true. Yeah. Experimentation cycle, feedback cycle have improved a lot.
बट मुझे हमेशा से अभी भी लगता है कि यार देयर शुड बी अ बैलेंस बिटवीन ऑनलाइन एंड ऑफलाइन. बट इंडिया में सारा ऑनलाइन में जाया जा रहा है.
Really?
बट हाँ, इंडिया की, यू टेक मोस्ट ऑफ दीज रिटेल स्टोर्स, सब प्रॉफिटेबल जो हुआ करते थे एक टाइम पे, दे आर ऑल इन लॉसेस राइट नाउ. क्योंकि आप बताओ ना, लास्ट टाइम व्हेन डिड यू वेंट टू अ स्टोर टू बाय एनीथिंग एक्सेप्ट फॉर लिकर.
सही बात है.
अब कोई जाना ही नहीं चाहता. जो थोड़ा बहुत बच गया था वो क्विक कॉमर्स ने खत्म कर दिया. अब तो यू जस्ट कम टू एनी ऑफ दिस क्विक कॉमर्स प्लेटफॉर्म, ऑर्डर करो 10 मिनट में.
एंड इवन आप पोटैटो चिप्स की बात, मेरे को याद आया, मैंने फ्यू डेज बैक ही वो 20 का भी पैकेट 16 में, फर्स्ट टाइम आई गॉट. लाइक
तो
लाइक
दैट इज
कभी
व्हाट, आज की डेट
हाउ
में.
इज इट एबल टू डू इट, मेरे को तो यही नहीं समझ आया.
नहीं, ओके, सो देखो आज ऑल दीज, कोई भी प्लेटफॉर्म, चाहे वो आपका अमेजोन हो, चाहे वेबसाइट हो, चाहे वो क्विक कॉमर्स हो, सी दे हैव अ मार्जिन टू प्ले. आज जैसे मैं आपको एग्जांपल, मैं अपना प्रोडक्ट ब्लिंकिट में लगाता हूँ, आई हैव टू गिव देम 30% मार्जिन. नाउ ब्लिंकिट विल से कि यार अतुल, देयर इज अ प्राइम डे कमिंग, और देयर इज अ इंडिपेंडेंट डे कमिंग, यू पुट 5% डिस्काउंट, आई विल पुट 5% डिस्काउंट. सो 10% डिस्काउंट सीधा चला गया. एंड व्हाई दे आर मेकिंग मनी, बिकॉज सी दे डोंट हैव अ बिग फैंसी स्टोर जहाँ पे उनको स्टोर का रेंट देना पड़ रहा है, जहाँ पे उनको इलेक्ट्रिसिटी का ह्यूज कॉस्ट है. दे जस्ट हैव अ डार्क स्टोर. तो आज अगर आप ऑफलाइन में भी मटेरियल रखते हो, so retailer charge you 20-25%, then there will be a distributor who will charge you 8-10%. So सब मिला के you end up paying 30-35% over there as well.
वाओ, दैट्स क्रेजी.
So
आई
इंडिया
एम तो
में,
अमेज्ड बिकॉज मैं तो लेज काउंट नहीं.
so अगर आज अब लेस का पैकेट अगर 20 रुपीज का है, आप ये मान के चलो, between the distributor and retailer, they might be earning at least 7-8 rupees, at least. हाँ, brand like Cadbury वगैरह, वो 15% मैक्सिमम दे देंगे, इससे ज्यादा नहीं देंगे. See, retail works very different way, a very different way. So what is the MRP versus what is the cost of making it? It's a huge difference, huge difference. That is what I said when मैं जब रिटेल में आया, मुझे जब लोगों ने कहा 60-70% मार्जिन तो होना चाहिए, अब बोला क्या पागल है क्या, कौन 70% पे होगा. बट देन आई रियलाइज यार कि
होना चाहिए.
अब कोई भी ब्रांड देखता हूँ ऑनलाइन, मेरे को लगता है अच्छा यार इसका कॉस्ट इतने का बनाने का होगा, वो इतने में क्यों बेच रहा है.
फिर तो पॉइंट ही क्या. देन पूरा जो थीसिस था D2C का, इट वाज लाइक कि आप मिडलमैन कट कर रहे हो, कॉस्ट कम हो रही है, पर ये तो इट इज जस्ट इट हैज शिफ्टेड फ्रॉम व्हाट द चैनल्स हैव शिफ्टेड. मतलब कॉस्ट तो फिर उतना ही है.
There's no-
एग्जैक्टली.
फेसबुक बोलेगा नहीं यार मुझे तो भाई 40% करनी है, सो इट विल बिकम 40%. So only the person who is making money in the whole value chain is these companies like Amazon and I would say all these Facebooks and everything. They are making huge money. Yeah.
क्रेजी.
That's why I said कि यार there should be a perfect mix between online offline. नंबर टू, योर प्रोडक्ट शुड बी वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. ठीक है, एक बार आपने मार्केटिंग कॉस्ट लगा के चलो ला दिया कस्टमर को, बट उसके बाद इट शुड सेल बाय इटसेल्फ. आई मीन यू शुड नॉट, योर मार्केटिंग कॉस्ट शुड बी रिड्यूस. So it takes time. I mean, big brands like Boat and Mamaearth, who were clearly a D2C brands, they have cracked those algorithms early in their life. So they became a big brands. And then they realize कि यार अब ठीक है ऑफलाइन हो गया, ऑनलाइन हो गया, अब ऑफलाइन पे भी जाना है. So they are into offline. So you have to have a perfect balance between what channels are you using and हाँ marketing cost तो लगेगा ही यार. I mean you can't shy away from that.
एंड इज मामा डूइंग वेल नाउ बिकॉज
They're
उनका
doing good.
प्राइस.
I think हाँ उनका मार्च क्वार्टर वाला थोड़ा सा डाउन हुआ था, but they have picked up now. See again, as I said, I mean if the promoter's intent is good, if they are doing the right thing for their consumer, तो ठीक है, there will be some challenges in your journey, but you can overcome those challenges.
दैट इज ट्रू. बट वाओ, सच अ इंटरेस्टिंग स्पेस. यू नो, इसमें एक्शन पूरा है, मतलब आप बोर नहीं हो सकते.
I mean, though our retail business is not more than 30% of our top line, but मेरा 90% टाइम उसी में जाता है आज
आई
की
कैन
डेट में.
इमेजिन.
रोज कुछ ना कुछ नए चैलेंज. बट या
वरना
इट्स गुड, या इट्स
इट्स
फन.
गुड, इट्स फन. वरना एक एल्गो के मैसेज आ जाएंगे भाई अब यहाँ.
एग्जैक्टली, वो रोज नए नए हमारे को रिकमेंडेशंस आते रहते हैं. बट थिंग्स मुझे लगता है देखो, इट विल बी अ वे ऑफ लाइफ आल्सो, बट इट शुड नॉट बी ओनली द वे ऑफ लाइफ.
यस.
कि लोग, everyone has now resorted to just online. I still remember I was reading a post on LinkedIn. There was two friends in same society but different towers. तो एक को अपना PS5 रिमोट दूसरे को भेजना था.
या
rather than उसने पोर्टर बुक किया कि बंदा आए, और फिर उसने पोर्टर वाले को दिया कि जाके इस टावर में देख के आ जा.
कमाल ही हो.
That's the kind of laziness what is coming.
या दैट इज, आई थिंक वो तो बहुत ही.
इंडिया में ना अभी वो हेल्थ का ना, अभी पीपल आर नॉट पर्टिकुलर अबाउट इट अभी, लेकिन ये थोड़ा सा देखना चाहिए. एंड इनफैक्ट गवर्नमेंट इज ट्राइंग टू डू अ बिट ऑफ इट. ऐसा हो कि जहाँ पे हम कुछ जैसे मे बी वी पुट सम काइंड ऑफ अ सर्च चार्ज ऑन दिस क्विक कॉमर्स, और वी पुट सम काइंड ऑफ अ सर्च चार्ज ऑन, एटलीस्ट पीपल शुड बी मोटिवेटेड टू गो आउटसाइड देयर हाउस. ऐसा नहीं कि उनके पास टाइम नहीं है, जस्ट दैट पीपल हैव बिकम लेजी.
दैट इज द थिंग. एंड इसका इम्पैक्ट भी अभी दिख नहीं रहा बिकॉज वो साइकिल कंप्लीट नहीं हुई है ना. मतलब इस पूरी सब चीजों का, सोशल मीडिया का, एवरीथिंग क्या.
बट सी में लोगों ने इस चीज को अंडरस्टैंड किया.
यस.
यूएस में दे आर नॉट अ मेनी क्विक कॉमर्स थिंग, दो चार चीजें हैं एसेंशियल्स, बट गवर्नमेंट वांट्स कि यार आप आओ भाई स्टोर बनाओ. इन लोगों ने इतना इन्वेस्ट कर रखा है स्टोर में, यू कम एंड बाय फ्रॉम देयर. ठीक है, आपके पास टाइम नहीं है, देन यू बाय फ्रॉम अमेजोन. क्विक कॉमर्स पे बस टू बिकम लेजी वो नहीं होना चाहिए.
लोग लगे हुए हैं.
इनफैक्ट आई वाज इन चाइना लास्ट मंथ, वहां पे भी मैंने देखा
इज
क्विक
इट
कॉमर्स इज ओनली फॉर एसेंशियल आइटम्स.
रियली?
हाँ हाँ, क्विक कॉमर्स इज ओनली फॉर एसेंशियल आइटम्स. वहाँ पे मतलब आपकी ग्रोसरी वगैरह आप ले सकते हो क्विक कॉमर्स में, बट ये सब चीजें नहीं है वहाँ पे.
वाह, यहाँ डिलीवर हो रहा है.
सब कुछ हो रहा है. अरे आई मीन पीपल आर बाइंग कार्स फ्रॉम क्विक कॉमर्स नाउ. कार्स, बाइक्स सब कुछ हो रहा है आजकल तो क्विक कॉमर्स।
It's interesting. Mega इसका ultimately.
लेट्स सी।
Let's see. But wonderful, Atul. Thank you so much for your time. It was such a pleasure to understand this space and amazing technology and कैसे आप crack करते हो. We'll keep an eye out. But wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thanks again for having me, and maybe share your address. We'll send you our products. Give your
दाल मख
feedback. आप बाकी प्रोडक्ट्स पे भी देखना, दाल मखनी तो पक्का ही देखना। दैट्स वन ऑफ माय क्लोजेस्ट। मतलब मैं जिस दिन लंच नहीं तो मुझे ये लगता है यार चलो दाल मखनी में पानी डालो और खा लो।
Really? Oh wow. Awesome. Thank you so much, Atul.